Check this out. This is the blackweb wireless HDMI video kit, which Walmart sells. Um, Take a look at the box. Ooh, wireless. It's got remote and apparently a 125-foot range, which I don't believe. Don't steal it. You actually have to use this. Broadcast from 1080p to 3 HDMI devices. Oh yeah, it includes like this HDMI switch, I guess, so you can connect 3 different things to the one sender, which connects to the TV. If you want to look at that, it says there's low latency, which we'll see here in a second. Yeah, this is the box. Let's check out what's inside. Now inside we have the, which one is this? It looks like it's the sender, I believe. It's hard to focus, but yeah, you look and see it there. Come on, there we go. There, it's the sender. This one, sender. Got a spot for the antenna. I want this thing focused. Antenna, infrared, which I'll show you in a second. Where your HDMI source comes from, or if you want to use that splitter, it goes from there. A reset button and where the plug-in goes in. It's got, I think, 3 lights: power, status, and connection. It's kind of annoying. The status one blinks constantly when it's connected, I guess, to show that it's moving data. Then you got the receiver, which is more or less the same thing, but receiving the connection. Same stuff on the back, reset, yada yada yada. You also have both the infrared receiver and the blaster. One receives it, and then the other side, it'll output it. You set it in front of, like, I don't know, your Xbox, DVD player, or whatnot. 2 remotes. One is just for activation because it's got that little lock on it. Your receipt prints you out a code, and you have to, that makes sure, just anti-theft kind of thing. Now, when you're activating it, when you plug in the receiving end, which is this one, it'll pop up a little screen that says type in the code on your receipt. That's the only use this remote has. I already pulled out the little thingy, but you pull out the little battery cover and you type in the code that's on your receipt, click OK, toss the remote, you're done. Then you got this remote. This is for the HDMI switch, which is this. It's simple. 3 inputs, 1 output that would go to the sender, a select button, 3 lights to show which one you're on, and if you need power, it doesn't include one, but if for some reason you needed to have power put into this little switch to, I guess, make a longer cable or something. You got both your antennas. They're fully adjustable. They just screw on the back, and then both your power adapters. This thing is $89. It was that way in stores, but the only reason I picked it up was it was actually only 21 bucks because apparently the guy I bought it from at the store, he said nobody purchased it when it came out, and it was like from their first shipment, so it hasn't really been touched, and it hasn't been quite a year yet, but it's been over 6 months since they came out with it. I think it came out Christmas 2017. It was kind of one of those things. They had this along with like the RCA projector, which I can already tell was just a bad idea. So that's why I was kind of skeptical. Didn't really want to purchase for 89 bucks, but $21, not a big deal. The reviewers down here give some mixed things. This guy also said his, I guess, was $23, but he had some issues. Like, it kind of worked, sometimes blinked, it depends, but he was like trying to use it in his garage. Another one was like, oh, is it 125 feet or not, kind of thing. Other people say some good things, but maybe they didn't try it through a wall or something. This guy said it stopped working, and we are going to find out ourselves, actually, right now. So here's how the setup's going to go. First, have your TV on, whatnot, on the right HDMI input. Mine's HDMI 2. And so you'll take the receiving box, the one that goes towards the TV. The antenna is really easy, actually. Well, maybe not even with one hand. Actually, aha. Goes in. You can kind of bend it up and down. I just point it straight up because I think that's how it's traditionally supposed to be. Then, set it where you want. Take your power adapter. I only have power here just for convenience. I wouldn't normally have it here. Yeah, make sure it's on. So, power, plug it in, HDMI. If I can get it, plug it in. And then, this is a little jack for your infrared receiver part. You see it turns on, it just says waiting for connection down here. So the infrared would go in, on the other side. Just like a headphone jack. Unless you have an iPhone, you don't really know what that'd be. Set it up where you can easily get remote connections. It's got tape on the bottom, so you just peel it off, stick it to the bottom like so. This is going to be the remote I think I'm going to try out. We're going to see together if it actually works very well. Okay, so that just sits there and waits. On your receiving end, say, oh, I really just want to have my Xbox over here and I don't want a wire running from here to there, even though it's not really far distance. You can go behind the couch, whatever. Same thing. Receiver box, put your antenna in. Probably should have unwrapped this. Give me just a second. Probably going to be too lazy to cut this out of the video. So again, little jack, plug it into the infrared out part, plug your HDMI in. Make it look fancy. Now the infrared part, let me think. I think my little infrared sensor for the remote thing's right here. So we're going to just try it out. Maybe the remote will work. I'll mess around with that in a second. But you'd want this thing pointing towards the infrared input on whatever device it is, whether it be like a DVD player, Blu-ray player, anything that takes, infrared signals. And then plug it in. When it plugs in, you just kind of wait. Give it a little bit. Okay, so now on the TV, this thing shows up, just tells you, hey, check your input. My first thing to kind of note on this is this thing blinks all the time, just saying, hey, I'm connected, I guess. So that's kind of annoying. You just like tape something over it. It's not really useful, but yeah, it blinks constantly. So go over. Let's turn the Xbox. And now the light on the sender starts blinking. No, this isn't 4K. It's just 1080p. Just looking at the screen, looks pretty nice. Nothing to really note yet. I'll show you some display lag if there is any here in a second. See what I say? This thing just blinks all the time. Even when it's not connected to the receiver, even if you shut this thing off, this thing blinks. I'm gonna wait for this $500 really nice Xbox to load. So, goes on, and let's take a look at the controller. For all I know, this could just be that, I guess let's go into a game and see how fast it responds to certain things, because it could just be the Xbox being slow sometimes. Doesn't seem to have much display loss from what I see. It's hard for you guys to tell on the camera. Yeah, if you check it out, watch me. Yeah, you can definitely tell there's display lag in it, I guess. So we'll not open up a game, but yeah, there's definitely display lag. So my personal opinion on this is I don't really think that it works. Um, I've been messing around with it, and it's still sitting just as far as it was before. And sometimes you can kind of notice the video kind of being jumpy, like it doesn't hiccup in the audio, but the video you sort of see hiccups and stuff like that. The only way I got around this was on my TV. I have that like 120 hertz looking like setting to make it smoother. That kind of helped, but I still notice it. Another thing that sometimes happens is the left and right audio sort of split off from each other sometimes, just enough to give an echoey sound, like not terrible, but you definitely notice something different. If your set is more than 10 feet away from what you're trying to, signal with, it's probably not worth it, even with the issues. If you got it for $21 like I did, it wouldn't be a big deal, but anything over that is not worth it in my opinion, especially if you're trying to go through a room or through walls. The only situation where I might see this to just be okay is if you wanted to just display like a presentation onto a TV. That it does work well for that, even at a good distance because you're not moving too much at a time. But for video or audio and things like that, I wouldn't see this thing working. Subscribe and like for more videos. This is my first review of many, and I would like to know what you thought of it. Thanks for watching.